Kim and I decided to come down to the north rim of the Grand Canyon for the day. We're actually staying up in Hurricane near Zion National Park, but with the thought being here for a couple of days, so we'd have a day trip down here. So it's quite a long drive down, 2.5, maybe 3 hours. I'm not exactly sure how long it took us. So we started quite late. We just decided to walk down as far as the tunnel, which is just over there behind us. It's quite a dusty trail coming down, not too steep, but what I thought I'd do is, rather than take a video of us walking down the trail, we'll do it walking back the other way. We took it really easy coming down, plenty of stops for photos, so it took us about an hour and a half, and I think it's about it's a couple of miles down the trail to here. As you can see, it's actually a lot of flies around here. In a minute we'll set off and head back up, and I'll show you what the trail looks like. So this is the entrance to the tunnel if you are walking down into the canyon. So I'm just going to walk down through this. Kim's just come back and said there's some really nice red rocks on the other side with the way the sun's hitting the rocks. So we'll just walk through. Oh yeah, this is lovely. A lot of the walk coming down has been going around switchbacks, and you can see below us there lots of... Okay, right, apologies for that, my battery ran out. So anyway, the view down into the canyon is below us. As you can see, lots of switchbacks, and that's basically been what the walk's been like above us. So there's not been many opportunities for photographs because we've basically seen the same scene over and over again. But even so, it's been quite a nice walk down. And now we're going to start the walk back. And as I said, I will try and record some of that as we go up so you can see what it's like. So we've just set off from the tunnel, as you can see. It's very sandy soil. But plenty of these steps, pretty much all the way up. Okay, just at one of the switchbacks, possibly no more than about 30 metres vertically above where we started from, and I'm already out of breath. I can see this is going to be a long climb, but just to give you an idea of the switchbacks, I'll just follow that round. So plenty of this sort of thing. As you probably noticed earlier, and can see now, the soil around here is quite red, but we're about to change. So if I just spin round, the rock strata has obviously changed to a different sort of rock, and now this much paler rock. I might have got this wrong, but thinking back to what I saw in the lodge, there's various sandstones and limestones in the strata here. Although I think some of the limestone is actually red as well, so I think it's maybe iron or sort of rust, basically oxidized iron in the rocks, both limestone and sandstone. Although I could well be wrong about that. I'll check. Kim and I are here in early October. As you can see, some of the trees are starting to go red. Just spin around there, see that one? Plenty of yellows as well. On the way down, there's a group of National Park Rangers repairing the path here. As you can see, just left all the gear behind. That's not really the reason I've stopped to show you this. If we just spin round for a second. As you can see, we've got a lovely view into the canyon here. And this is pretty much from this point onwards, the view you get as you switch backwards and forwards up this cliff face. So really lovely location. Just a quick look at the repaired path. So this is what they're trying to achieve for this section. As you can see, it's not finished yet. And we're carrying it there. See Kim just going around the corner, that switchback. Just one of the local inhabitants. We saw quite a few of these on the way down, and what I think are chipmunks as well, a bit higher up. The other wildlife that we've seen on the way up, not exactly wild, but plenty of mules. 2 lots, probably about 10 mules in each. Lots of people obviously like to ride down, ride up. On the downside for that, it can be quite smelly on this trail, as you can see. It does get a bit messy with the mules heading up. Just a couple of stone pillars that have been, so the rocks have been eroded around them. And again, the overlook into the canyon. This is actually a side canyon. I think the main canyon is if you go down to the bottom of there and you turn right, and then you head down to the Colorado River that way, I think. Kim's just pointed out the view through there. The sun shining really quite nicely on those cliff faces. I think the top of that cliff is pretty much the top of the canyon for us. We'll just spin round. You can see back into the canyon behind me. But looking in that direction, you can see the cliffs all around us. So we're not that far below the top of the canyon at the moment. So we've made it as far as the Coconino Overlook, and as Kim pointed out earlier, where I said we're just below the top of the canyon, actually I was pointing up at this overlook. The canyon goes up quite a lot further than this, but if I just walk to the edge and just show you the view from the edge of the overlook. As you can see, it's a fairly spectacular view down into the valley there. When we walk down, there are lots of people here just sitting around drinking and eating, but it's pretty deserted now. If I just spin around, you can have a look. The trail that we just come up comes up over there, and the trail heading back to the top goes past the sign there. So basically up towards the sun. I'll just try and get out of the sun a little bit. I don't know whether that's just causing some flare. But basically we just need to walk to the top of that. There's plenty of switchbacks on the way up, so it's not too, I don't think it's going to be too hard a climb to get to the top of there. One thing I didn't mention when at the start, we drove down from Hurricane, as I mentioned. For us, coming from the UK, the drive down was actually quite interesting as well. As I drove down through through Utah and into Arizona, going through the desert areas to the Mojave County, and coming further in this direction, further south. Eventually, the land rose up into a national forest, which was really lovely. Lots of sort of pine, but quite a large stretch of it was actually burnt out. There's been a forest fire at some point, but all in all, a really nice drive down. It took us about 2.5 hours, I think, maybe best part 3. Some more of the local wildlife down there. We're still at the Coconino Overlook. So I guess this is probably a good place to come scavenging for food. There's another one actually somewhere under the rocks. That one just did a run. See if I can get a bit closer to it.
I think he'll fight it off if you do.
Yeah, oh no, sorry, there it goes. Oh well, never mind, didn't mean to frighten it. It's back now. As you can see, this last bit, before you get to the trailhead, is quite wooded. It looks quite flat here, but there's a short section of quite steep gradient with basically logs across to create steps. So I apologise for the heavy breathing, but we've been trying to come back at a fair clip, and oh, sorry, I just got my breath again. I think we're just a few minutes away now, so I'll wrap up. Oh, there's another squirrel or something just darted across. I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, so I'll just wrap up in a few minutes when we get to the trailhead. I don't know if you can see that. It's a small squirrel in the just run off into the bush there. It almost looked black, which I've never seen a squirrel. Well, I assume it was a squirrel looking like that before. Okay, we just got to the trailhead. It's taken us about an hour and 25 to get up from the tunnel, so we've walked at a fairly steady pace. In fact, we got up quicker, I think, than we got down there, given the number of stops we made on the way down for photos and things. So it's what time is it? It is.
Well, at home,
It's about.
it's 20 to 1 in the morning.
Okay, but it's 4:30 here, so we're just going to head back towards the lodge to get something to eat, and then head back to Hurricane.